the speech Margaret Thatcher never made because of the Brighton bombing. To help bring the words on the website to life, we invited Steve Nallon to interpret for us the speech Margaret Thatcher would have made, but never did.
We meet today as free people in a free country, but every one of us here senses the shadow that has fallen across this freedom since we last met. I am not referring to the interruptions which have sought to mar our conference, nor am I referring to the mob of rowdies outside who have tried to blockade us in our comings and goings. Such people do not understand orderly assembly. The shadow I speak of is the violence and intimidation which has wrecked and scarred the coal industry, and particularly the working miners and their families. I shall have more to say about it presently. The shadow grows darker and deeper as organized groups of influential men and women question, then repudiate the ideas of the supremacy of Parliament and rule of law. These views and voices now find themselves in the natural home of today's Labour Party. It explains why that party is so muted in its condemnation of picket violence, so muted in its praise for the hard-pressed police, so muted in its support for tens of thousands of working miners, so muted in its advocacy of an NUM ballot, but so willing to trumpet the cause of the present NUM leadership and its extreme and uncompromising objectives. That is the measure of the shadow which has fallen across freedom since we last met. The leader of the Greater London Council has said openly that he will support staff in refusing to obey government commands. I find that worrying. I find it even more worrying that Labour MPs appear to be aiding and abetting this campaign to defy Parliament. Mr. Jack Straw is reported to have told Labour Sheffield Local Government Conference that the question is not the rule of law, but which law should rule. How can democracy work if legislators encourage citizens to disobey the law? How can our traditions survive if the will of Parliament is defied by its own members? It is well known that a number of other Labour MPs are, at present, under severe threat of being dealt with by their constituency parties should they deviate from the new militant orthodoxy. They may have in mind the deputy leader of Liverpool's remark on the 11th of March about his colleagues on the council. They had better be reminded that not only have they to walk into the council chamber, they have to walk out. Let us hope that Labour MPs are able to walk out of their constituencies. Let us hope that they will not find themselves being pushed out, not until they are properly and democratically removed at the next general election.
Steve Nallon interpreting the speech Margaret Thatcher never made. You can read it for yourself on the Margaret Thatcher Archive Trust website.